In the early days of Islam, the enemies of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, tried everything to stop people from hearing the Quran. They created chaos, shouted loudly, and spread false stories to distract the listeners. But no matter how hard they tried, the message of Islam continued to spread. The disbelievers of Mecca used every trick to prevent people from listening to the Prophet's message. When the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, stood to recite the Quran or preach, they would shout, clap, whistle, and make loud noises to disturb the gathering. Their aim was to stop the words of Allah from reaching the hearts of the people. Due to these disturbances, the Prophet was only able to recite the Quran publicly without interruption after several years of preaching. In the 5th year of prophethood, he surprised everyone by suddenly standing and reciting the Quran clearly, catching the opponents off guard. One of the most persistent enemies was Nadir bin Harith, who used to mock the Prophet by telling stories of Persian kings and heroes. He even tried to distract people attracted to Islam by sending them his servant girl, hoping they would lose interest in the Prophet's message. The hostility was not only from strangers, but from the Prophet's own family too. Abu Lahab, his uncle, was a fierce opponent. He divorced his daughters who were married to the Prophet's sons after the message was declared. When the Prophet's son Abdullah died, Abu Lahab was so happy that he mocked the Prophet by saying his lineage was finished. Abu Lahab also hurt the Prophet physically by throwing stones at him, causing injuries. His wife, Jamil, was equally hostile. She spread lies, cursed the Prophet, and even scattered thorns on his path to harm him. The Quran refers to her as the carrier of firewood because she fueled hatred against Islam. Once, Jamil came to the Prophet near the Kaaba with stones to attack him. But Allah caused her gaze to fix only on Abu Bakr, the Prophet's close companion, so she couldn't see the Prophet. She threatened to throw stones at the Prophet if she found him and recited poems insulting him, calling him Muzammam, which means the cursed, the opposite of Muhammad, which means the praised. The Quraysh mocked the Prophet, saying he was just an ordinary man, not worthy of being a messenger. They couldn't believe that someone like him could receive revelation. They also questioned why he wasn't supported by angels or given worldly riches and power. Allah responded by explaining that prophets are human, sent as mercy to all people, rich and poor. If prophets were surrounded by luxury, ordinary people would feel distant and unable to follow them. One major challenge was the belief in resurrection and the Day of Judgment. The disbelievers mocked the idea that people would be raised from the dead for accountability. They asked how it was possible when bodies decay into dust. Allah explained that creating